if you mastered that. And I think I wouldn't say I mastered it, but I'm doing pretty good at it.
So would you say you're a poet, spoken word artist?
I'm a poet first.
Okay, you're definitely you're a poet first.
Yeah, I mean, because if you say spoken word artist, I mean, it's just like you're limiting yourself. I mean, to just that one field. I mean, there's a whole lot of different forms of writing out there for me just to channel myself as a spoken word artist. Okay,
cool. Now I guess going back to dealing more with poetry within itself. Also, maybe one of the biggest maybe advocates, movements, or whatever that may have helped poetry, maybe have set back poetry and spoken word within itself. How you feel about, I don't know if it still comes on now, I don't believe it does, but the Def Poetry Jam series?
I feel it's okay. I mean, it spotlights spoken word artists, the very talented ones from all over the country. You know, it puts it out there for people that don't quite understand what it is to see and witness for themselves.
True now.
On the map, you know, definitely. Well, not put it on the map, but it you know, to the young folks that are coming up, it reinvented itself kind of and showed them what it's all about.
Now, Antwian, we're here on the college campus, Alabama A&M University, and we're a 100,000-watt radio station, so we're heard for several miles from Huntsville to Birmingham and from Huntsville to Nashville, so we have a very wide range, and also we can be heard on the internet as well. So while we got Antwian Marcel Crawford, a.k.a. Intellect, on the phone with us, we want you to give our listeners a couple tips on writing for those who, you know, they go, you know, because a lot of folks, they'll go to the open mics and they get inspired. And I think one of the things I found out personally is a lot of people, as you said, it's not as easy as it seems. Some of the best polished poets I know, they take a lot of time with it, you know. So I want you to give our listeners a couple tips for whether it's writing, performance, or whatever.
Well, I mean, you know, an open mic is just that. It's an open mic. I mean, it's not a poetry show. It's not a, you know, concert or anything like that. An open mic is there for people to sharpen their skills and, you know, get stronger at their craft. I mean, you know, but when it comes to performance, which I don't consider myself a performer, I'm just a writer. You know, I don't get on stage and, you know, spit verses or anything like that because that's not my first love. My first love is writing on paper. But, you know, when you perform, I mean, you have to make sure that you've practiced what you've written, you know, just so you can have a better performance, a better stage presence or whatever. I've had deaf poets at my events before in the past, and basically we have a big, you know, show at the end of the conference because it's like a 2-3 day thing to actually show them what it's all about, what a polished poet looks like. And, you know, in a show, it's not the time to get on stage with a piece of paper and read off a piece of paper to the audience. I mean, that's what you do in an open mic because you're sharpening your skills. But, I mean, take time to memorize what you've written. You know, take time to, you know, creating a better show for the audience, you know. And your delivery is everything if you're a spoken word artist. You know, you have to, you know, deliver professionally.
And that's a good point right there. Of course, you know, coming from the campus of Alabama A&M Poetry Club, we had open mics, and that's where many artists, as you said, utilize the open mic scene to sharpen your skills. And then who knows, if you're able to take your craft further, then you were able to use that venue as a launching pad, right?
Exactly. You know, and that's the thing. You got to, you know, put it into work, you know, in order to become polished. And, you know, like I said, like Def Poetry Jam, there's a lot of polished poets on there. They're not the only poets in the world that are that good. It's just, you know, a select few that made it to the show, you know, auditioned and were selected. But there's great poets all over this world, you know, that haven't been showcased. And that's another reason why I created the Underground Poet Society, Inc.
True. Now, the conference you mentioned, when do you have the conference?
The conference is yearly. This year we're not having it, unfortunately, but it's usually something I want to do yearly. It's a national thing. I noticed that other, you know, kind of people are trying to emulate it a little bit and, you know, do their own thing with it, but, you know, I started it, and it's something that I want to do every year for poets to want to come to, not necessarily to for poets to say, hey, it's a payday. No, it's not a payday. This is for like poets to come to mingle, talk about things, just get, it's like a reunion almost, get together and have a good time as poets and do the open mic thing and do the workshops to, learn how to be a better poet and go to the shows and even, enjoy the atmosphere, because it's in South Florida.
Well,
good place for poets to become inspired.
Definitely. South Florida. That's definitely, you be inspired down there. But man, we want to thank you so much for taking time out your schedule. Finally glad to link up with you and speaking with us here on the Poetry Corner. Once again, the website, of course, is the Underground Poets Society, Inc. Antwian Marcel Crawford, a.k.a. Intellect. He is the founder of this website that's been running now, if I'm correct, for 10 strong years, right?
Yes, sir.
And if you definitely check it out. Of course, if you want to know more about poetry, spoken word, maybe you want to network with someone, maybe you want to put some of your poetry online and get feedback from other poets across the world, you can do it on the website. It's a great place for for poets, for writers, for spoken word artists to come together. That's why I wanted Antwian to come on the show for National Poetry Month. So, Antwian, give them the website again.
That's the unps.com. That's www.theunps.com.
All right. Well, Antwian, thank you so much for coming on the Poetry Corner.
Hey, well, thank you for having me, man.
Okay. Antwian.
Yes, sir.
Okay, at this point, I'm going to ask you to, if you can still do, if you wouldn't mind giving us a poem.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to count you down 3, 2, 1, and when you're ready, just go right into it, all right?
Sure.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Since when did poetry become hip-hop? Since when did intelligent words flip-flop and go from vexed to rude, from putting you in the mood to bad attitude in 3 minutes flat? Since when did poets forget how to act and start calling women bitches and hoes and taking off their clothes in a heartbeat? Since when did hearts beat for bloodshed? I hope the dam don't break because hip-hop was dead and I was at the wake. But spoken word was born for hip-hop's sake, and it was meant to elevate and not follow. Grow roots from the tree that hip-hop made hollow, but we don't have to beg, steal, or borrow because we are the elite. This is where hip-hop and poetry meet, where creativity combines with intellectual thinking, left the ghetto mentality dead and stinking. Ignorance is constantly shrinking as more rappers become poets. From MCs to philosophies, they say ignorance is bliss, but it's more like a disease that spread throughout centuries, putting our young black males in penitentiaries. But not knowing will keep you stressed and is the #1 reason for keeping us oppressed. This is the truth, and I've confessed as this microphone gets blessed with hidden flows and undercover scenarios. You can play me through old stereos and still get the same effect because it's all about how words connect and cause your brain to reflect on what you just heard, because this is spoken word, and I'm the one speaking. And I came to give it to you with this knowledge that you're seeking. And whether you're black, white, Chinese, or Puerto Rican, you're going to feel me even if you can't see me. I make more minds wonder than Stevie, and I don't have to be on TV because what I'm spitting is real. And just as guns went from steel to hard plastic but still cause the same effect, look down the barrel of my pen and tell me if you felt that hot stuff yet. Translated into hot spit. And though the gun has changed, you're still hit. And instead of deaf, you become educated while your mind, body, and spirit get elevated and you're oppressed no more. And a bullet didn't even hit the floor. Now, how's that for hardcore? But the next time you try to strike penitentiary poses while standing in the yard, think hard about the example that you're setting. And in the next 5 to 10, you might be regretting the fact that your little one saw you do that and thought it was a place to be. And behind bars are the only life you're ever going to see, and trying to cop a plea just because you wanted to represent the life that he saw on TV. That's not poetry. That's not what we do. If hip-hop was sick, then poetry's the flu. If hip-hop was a river, then poetry would be the canoe. Hip-hop is like the government because they spit game to you, too. While poetry will encourage you to pick up a book, take a second look at what you've been told so you can one day break the mold and watch history unfold. So while hip-hop takes time to glorify the rubble, poetry takes the lead for us to elevate the struggle. Because all that time talk about money and bling is getting tired. Hip-hop, step aside because your ass has been fired.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.